Y'all enjoy your nice new seats. Pretty nice, aren't they? Thanks, Mr. Glass, for supporting our team. Just so proud of our guys, man. Just really knew it was going to be a tough game. The weather was awful, and but our guys just don't care about that stuff. We can't control the weather, so I'm just really proud of the way that they competed. So proud of the way that the offensive line responded to my challenge last week to dominate the line of scrimmage and against a team that's been really, really good against the run. And Stevie Scott goes for 204 yards, second most in the history of our program for a freshman, which is unbelievable. So he never once fumbled the football, which in those conditions is really, really hard to do. And we only had the one turnover on offense, and ball security was great all night long. And then how about our young defense, man? They just keep coming. Held them to 300 yards of offense, 16 points. Obviously, at the end, they made the huge stop to win the game. Even on the interference call, they said, hey, nobody complained. He's got fresh guys in there. Used our last time out and said, what we got to do, we got to finish. So we always tell them, you're going to have to play 60 minutes and beyond. We play till midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, we don't care. So huge win for our program. A great opportunity for us to continue to grow all these young guys we got on the team, and just really, really proud of this, every single one. So, questions?
If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a mic. Hutch first, then Zach.
I thought Stevie was a little hesitant on running the ball last week. What was different tonight? He seemed to be hitting the holes a lot harder.
Well, we obviously worked on that. It's just confidence. It's a second game now, and I know you hear this all the time. It's really true. You're going to have a lot of growth from week 1 to week 2 for most teams, and then when you have 17 guys that play their first college game last week, that's 17 guys that are now playing in their second game. And I just thought the whole week of preparation was different. I thought our walkthroughs today were different. I thought our meetings today were different. We do a thing defensively where we call it Red Break Swarm and watch film, and just the way they make checks, and they had a different air about them, and they're just more confident. And I think Stevie Scott, same thing, he just ran with confidence, and he's a big boy now, and he's just naturally very strong. He has really good patience and vision. I noticed that right away in fall camp. I knew this kid was going to be special. Just didn't know, when he was going to get his shot. And obviously, due to injuries and situations we have right now, he got it early, and he's taking advantage of it. So I think he's going to be a pretty special one.
Zach.
Sort of one of those intangible questions, but I know you weren't happy with the defensive performance last week. Felt good about a number of things on offense. I imagine no second half points this week will probably bother you a little bit, but the defensive performance, you just feel like maybe this team is synced up in a good way right now, offense to defense, maybe even special teams too.
I do. I think, like you said, you mentioned some things that we have to address, and very, not happy at all by not scoring any points in the second half. We had a chance to put them away, I thought, with a couple of those drives, but we didn't, but they got a good football team too, and then special teams, got a couple blocks there on the field goal, which were disappointing, and the conditions were, they're a variable, I get that, but still, it's no excuse. But then the defense responded. I'm so proud of that defense. I'm telling you. I take a lot of pride in that. There's no question. And I was really not happy with last week at all. And I know I said that, but I really was really upset. Because I just felt like we were better than we showed. And so, and I think we are. But it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what we do on the field and how we play. So they responded. Their coaches responded, and I got after them pretty good. Because I just feel like that, you got to play great defense when you want to win games. And so today was a prime example. I tell you what, that quarterback he's special now in terms of athletically, and he is hard to tackle, and he's a big man, and he's got a different gear. So I stayed up a lot of late nights worried about that guy, and so just really, and even number 1, I thought he ran the ball so hard last week, and I was concerned about us tackling him as young as we are, and he's 225 pounds, and he's really strong, and he's a senior, and we got guys that are true freshmen out there trying to tackle him, 4 years age, sometimes 5 years difference in age. So just really feel like that those guys responded, and we got a chance to become a complete football team. When both sides of the ball put it all together on the same night, and special teams does their deal, and we play a lot of guys, and I've said it all along. It's going to be our key to success, and just keep our guys fresh and just keep bringing them.
Mike.
Special teams, just anything in the moment that you can kind of diagnose what went wrong in those 2 plays there?
Well, the first one, we had a mistake up front with one of our guys. He didn't step down like he was supposed to. And the second one, the timing was too slow and the kick was low. So I felt like it was, the snap because of the wet ball and get it down. So it was just too long in our timing of it, our processing, we call it, and then the kick was low, you know. So, but obviously we got that changes everything. You know, we get a 7-point lead instead of a 4-point lead, and you get the block. We lost 3 points in the exchange when we got the block, and they returned it for 2 points, and so we really lost 6 total points there between those 2 blocks. So, you know, obviously not happy with that, but we will, as we did last week, it's a lot more enjoyable to correct those mistakes after a win.
Just following up on Stevie, you know, when you signed him, what did you know about him, and what have you learned in the last 2 weeks?
Now, this is interesting. The last 2 running backs that we've signed, I wasn't sure about either one of them. You know, when we signed Morgan, you know, I told both guys that, because they're both linebackers and running backs, okay? And I said, if it doesn't work out at running back, we're moving to a linebacker. And I told both of them the same thing, because I just knew they were 2 big, strong guys. And when you get a 6'1", 6'2" guy that weighs 230 plus pounds out of high school, I figured out we can find a place to play, you know, and they can run. And so, same thing with Steve. I mean, we literally were like, hey, we're going to start him on offense, and then they moved him to linebacker, you know. So, but I saw some similar things. Actually, both guys had injuries in high school that ended their senior years, didn't have a lot of reps, you know, and so you really didn't know, you know. But I thought I thought he had something different about him, you know. And then when he got to camp, you know, and started watching him run, like, yeah, he's going to be all right. So, you know, you just kind of get a body type that you're looking for. We thought he was a Big Ten looking running back, and he almost weighs 240, you know, so that's a big man. So, and he's really naturally strong. He's going to get stronger with Coach Ballou and our staff. So he's got a bright future if he just keeps his head on straight and stays humble and keeps working hard.
Matt?
Coach, the first drive, they kind of gashed you a little bit, but then after that, I'm sure it wasn't perfect, but really didn't have a lot of big plays, and you guys really did a pretty good job. Did something you changed schematically, or just you guys just changed the way how well they were playing?
I think it was really more, I will say this, I felt like I called a very conservative game, you know, from the perspective of I just wanted to let our guys get comfortable playing base defense. And so I made I called a couple movements and some pressures early, and I quit doing that, you know, just because I felt, you know, let our guys get their feet set, let them just play football. And then I got confidence to know once we started stopping, hey, we can play that way, and we obviously brought some pressure at times, but I just wanted our guys, you know, like you said, it's the youth, you know, things are happening fast, and the gaps, if you're moving, the gaps are changing, and so I just wanted them to get their feet set, get grounded, and play with confidence, because I feel like if we could do that and still stop the run that way, then that kind of gets really the ideal, and you're not taking as many chances.
Jeff?
You said you liked the way your offensive line responded. Kind of what specifically did they do better that you liked tonight?
We ran the ball really good against a good defense. And, you know, I wouldn't say that the drives that we didn't finish were, you know, a couple of times we're bringing zero pressure, you know, and then obviously you can't throw it as well as you'd like to because of the weather conditions. You don't want to turn it over, so you're kind of in that little bit of a conundrum there to decide what to do. But I just felt like that the push off the ball, the finishing of blocks against the team that basically was just schematically lined up to make the run game tough, and we still ran the ball. And I mean, I was concerned about our ability to run the ball against them. I really was, just because I felt like they were a really good front seven defense, and we thought, you know, going in, we thought our best way to exploit them was through the pass game. And then it rains all day. You know, I thought Noah was out there in the arc a couple times, but honestly, I was more concerned because of the weather. I didn't tell our team that, but I personally was, because of the matchup issues. That was going to create. We thought we could, you know, throw the ball down the field, and we still did. You know, a couple of them were ugly throws. You know, the ball was kind of wobbling, but I tell you what, just like week 10 in, and I told our team before this is going to come down to who wants to win the game. And it was a key third down for field position, and we throw the ball to Luke Timmy, and he just absolutely wanted that football. And so we were able to throw the ball down the field at times enough, and right for half, that was a huge score, obviously, ended up being the winning score. So just things like that, you know, just really, you know, just trying to establish the run game first, knock them off the football, and then make some big plays.
You just talked about Hayden and what he was able to do in terms of the field position and some of those short field pumps.
Yeah, those are big. You know, I was disappointed in the one. I think they called them 12 or 13. I wanted inside the 10 every time. Try to get inside the 5. And I took a delay the one time because sometimes you get almost too close. And so you feel like I just wanted to maximize the clock, and that way it keeps our timeouts for this late in the game, and which is, I'm glad we had that last one to use. And so just things like that. And so I was able to, you know, take a delay, give him a chance to get those, you know, moves back a little bit, and the ball was like on 37, and so he can get we call them goal punts for us because they're where they're at on the field. And so just his value to this team, he had the one to pin him down inside the 5 on the 3-yard line, and you know, it was tough conditions. He never muffed the snap. You know, he worked so hard on that, and our snapper, you know, Dan Gotts was just awesome. He's just so steady, and just, you know, Drew Conrad is he won our LEO award for the game. He got to carry the stick out just because he's so unselfish, and he's just does his job, and most people don't even know who he is, you know, but he's a tremendously valuable part of our team, and he lives out LEO every day because he cares more about this team than he does himself.
Do two more, Jim and then Zach.
Coach, obviously the weather conditions dictating, and we're running attack tonight, and knowing that Stevie was probably going to be carrying the load there. Any trepidation knowing you're putting the ball in his hands 31 times tonight as a freshman?
You know, you got to believe in him, you know, and you got to let him go. And the bottom line is you grow up really fast when you're forced to. And you know, he's our biggest, strongest back. And I tell you what, though, he's got huge hands, and he's really strong. And I think that helps in ball security. You know, he just kind of swallows the ball up. And I just think that, you know, yeah, I think it was a little bit unnerving for me because he is a true freshman and he is green. But I think we saw a guy grow up tonight in front of all of us, and I'm really proud of him. And the O-line made it all happen.
All right, Zach.
Forgive me if I'm wrong on this, but it felt like Raekwon spent a lot of time kind of shadowing Perkins. I don't know if that was by design or just by call, but just how big was he tonight? I know he's a guy that had a really good spring and hasn't played a ton through his career, but is a guy that you've talked about leaning on defensively.
I'm really proud of that young man. I tell you what, he stepped up. Because I got on him a year ago. I mean, I felt like that, you know, Tigre had to play so many snaps because he didn't rise up and he didn't put himself in position for me to trust him to play. And so his spring was huge. He won MVP of our spring, and in a couple different areas, and just so proud of the way he played tonight. And yeah, you're right. That was an accurate assessment, and we had several calls where we spied him on the quarterback, and he came up big. But I tell you what, none bigger was Khalil Bryant's tackle there on that last drive, and on the quarterback, and just once again, you know, he's not the biggest, the fastest, or any of those things, but his heart and his will is huge, and he cares so much about this team and his teammates, and he prepares, and he's smart, and he just does what he's asked to do. So a lot of guys like that have stepped up, and really proud of Raekwon and his. He just needs to keep climbing. I mean, we need him. We need him to rise up, and you're right, he has not played a whole lot, but that's changing, and you know, TD behind him played a bunch, and Mike McFadden, huge tackle on it, and he's a player, and all those linebackers. I thought, you know, Damian stepped up and made some big plays, and Thomas stepped up and made some big plays, and they're growing up right in front of us, so it's pretty cool to see.
All right, thanks, Tom. We'll have